Hello, ladies and gentlemen, from the cultured landscape of Southwest America comes to you the best in movie reviews. Today, on A Girl, a Guy, and a Movie, Janet from Another Planet and Bruce Lombardo of Dick's Division review a 1965 classic known as For a Few Dollars More, starring Lee Van Cleef and Clint Eastwood, directed by Sergio Leone. Hi, Janet. How are you today, sweetheart?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fan-damn-tabulous. It was a beautiful day. It was gorgeous. Got a chance to not see any part of that outside stuff because I'm not outdoorsy. I like the indoors. I work outside a lot. I don't want to be outside anymore. I'm good.
Is it cold there?
No, it's not cold there. It's cold at night. It'll be like 38 degrees for like 2 more days. And after that, it'll be 60 degrees at night and 85 degrees to 95 degrees during the day. Welcome to summertime, America. This is San Antonio.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not that warm here. I think it's like in the 50s right now.
That's because you live up north of I 20.
That's for sure.
That's my barometer for where I'd want to live. Are you north of I 20? The answer is no.
Well, you've had both kinds, right? Cold and
Yeah,
hot.
I've lived many years up north in the Midwest, in the middle of the cornfields of Illinois. I'm done. Y'all can have that garbage.
Well,
Okay.
how did you like this movie? Had you ever seen it before?
I've seen it before, but not all in one go. Like I caught the first half hour here, I caught the middle part over there a few dozen times, and then I
Hmm.
watched it today for the first time all the way through, and it's a good movie. Um, I'm I'm not like everybody else on this movie. I think this is a great film because of Lee Van Cleef, and you've got some really good bit characters that are in this film that they really do a great job. You got Mara Krupp, and she's the hotel manager's wife. You got Klaus Kinski, who was Yuan Wild. He was a Hunchback SOB in it. You've got Kagi, the member of
Okay, now I
Eagles
recognize
Gang.
him.
Gian
Sorry.
Maria Volonte, he's the guy that was in the first, not the first movie, because it's not really a first movie. It's not a trilogy. Some people say it is. I don't really think it is. I think it's just three stories that they were like, we're going to make these badass films that people will love for years. And people hypothesize about it, but like it's not the same guy because you have same actors in various locations playing different parts, and they get killed in this movie, they get killed in this movie, they're back in this movie here. It's not truly a trilogy, but it's a series of really good Western films. And for a few dollars more is a good movie. If you spoiler alert, it's a revenge film. It's a great revenge film. Is it the best revenge film? No. Is it good? Absolutely. Uh, you see a few bumps up in budget that they had in this film. I
Hmm.
think you and I both agree that this budget of this movie was a lot better than the fistful of dollars, right?
Well, I thought it was a step up. I could definitely tell that they had put more time and effort in and had more money to share. And I could tell that the director had learned from his mistakes that he made in the first movie, and not because it's a trilogy, like you said, because I didn't think that's what it was. It's just the fact that he used some of the actors that he used in his first movie, probably because they listened and did what they were told, and he liked them. He
Mm-hmm.
worked well with them because he did add a couple new faces to this one that weren't in the last one. So I thought they did a really good job uh, upping their game, basically. You know, and it was a great story. I thought it was intriguing. wanted to see the heroes succeed, even though they weren't really heroes. They're like anti-heroes because they were kind of bad but good too.
I don't think they're truly anti-heroes, because to me an anti-hero is more like Riddick from the Riddick films. And
Well, see, I put Wolverine, Deadpool, Morbius all in them as anti-heroes. Basically, they do good things, but they do bad things too. That's what I mean when I say that.
we're going to probably disagree, and that's okay. um Riddick has done far more bad things than Wolverine.
I don't know.
I don't. I mean, Wolverine's lived longer, but I
Been
just
around.
don't classify Wolverine as an anti-hero.
It's
He's
okay.
and that's okay, because I could be completely taking it out of context. And there's some kid over there in a Marvel t-shirt that's screaming at me right now.
Maybe, maybe not.
And issue number 59. Shut up. As much as I want to be a nerd, I don't want to be corrected. So anyway, I just feel that there's levels of anti-hero, and I
Mhm.
don't feel like this movie, like, it breached the Riddick levels of anti-hero. Riddick
Well,
clearly. What? Go ahead.
one of the things I liked about this movie uh, wasn't just that I thought it was they the director learned from the last movie, his first movie, I guess, first spaghetti western, but it's the fact that he um, he didn't just present to you the whole story at the beginning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of why these two people are going to hook up and work as a team or whatever, because they really weren't a team either. Even when they
No.
decided they were going to be a team,
No.
they were both still
They're-
doing their own thing because they didn't trust the other one.
Yep.
I did love the scene though of how. Uh, Clint Eastwood was trying to get him out of town when he figured out who he was. He started asking around, and someone told him that he was a bounty hunter and that he was there to try to get some money or whatever. So the same purpose behind why he was there, right? So then he does the whole thing, and he shoots the guy's hat off, and the colonel bends down to get his hat, and then he shoots his hat, and he keeps doing it until it's like halfway down the street, right? But he doesn't retaliate. He just kind of just looks at him and is like, "What a dick!" He's thinking, but he doesn't say it because he knows this guy's a professional, right? So he's kind of like trying to figure him out, what his reason is there for, that kind of thing. At least that's what it seemed like to me because I'd never seen this movie. Then when it's he runs out of bullets, so it's his turn. So he gets his hat and he puts it back on, and then he shoots Clint Eastwood's hat off, but from a lot farther away, because when Clint started, he was right close to him and he shot the hat farther distance. Well, he shot the hat off of Clint's head and then shot it full of holes while it was up in the air, right? So it showed him that he was damn good at shooting his pistol. So I thought it was really really good how they did that. And then the next thing you know, it's a cut scene and they're sitting at a table with shot glasses and booze, and both the hats, a brown one and a black one, are sitting there, and they have lots of bullet holes in them, which you don't really notice later on in the movie when they're supposedly wearing bullet hole written hats, right? I never
Mhm.
noticed they had holes in them. You didn't when they turned their heads and stuff. You didn't see light shine through. So I just thought that was kind of funny, but I like that scene. It was like a bonding of males. Basically, it starts off with Clint Eastwood putting his footprint on his nice, clean black shoe boots. So it was like a pissing contest, basically, of him peeing on his boot. And then so once he's done and he looks down and he sees the footprint on his boot, he puts his foot on Clint's foot. Okay, that's when the bullet starts flying and shoots his hat off. So the whole thing started off as a pissing contest, trying to see who can up one the other one and who's going to back away. But neither one of them, backed up. So that's when they realized, well, I guess we're going to have to work together if we're going to be successful. One of us is going to be successful. So I like that because I like it. It kept me intrigued and not knowing what was happening, not knowing who's going to do what. Then the whole story with the psycho leader that was nuts, his story slowly unfolds as we're watching the movie, finding out his reason why he's a psycho. Basically, he's already psycho when he starts, but you can see why he got worse in his whole obsession with the pocket watch and stuff throughout the movie. That was very interesting. You know,
Yeah,
didn't you think so?
I think so. I think it's pretty correct.
But
Got a pretty funny comment here to
oh
defend Janet.
yeah,
Logan is Canadian, and we have documented accounts of Canadian war crimes about rules of war.
hmm
Wolverine carries that tradition with his stint as a Weapon X and so on.
hmm Well, I just
Yeah,
always looked at the characters. My three favorite comic book characters of the ones that I had the most comic books is Wolverine is my most, and then I have Deadpool and Cable comics, and then I have a lot of Morbius. So Morbius is the second, Deadpool's third because it was harder for me to get Deadpool comics. But they to me all of them were basically bad boys, but they did good things.
women like bad
They were
boys.
still bad. So,
Women are all about
that's
bad boys.
some of them. But I don't want a bad one. I don't want one that's going to beat me up and rob banks. I want him to be bad, by that he don't take no shit. That kind of bad boy is what I want. I don't want one that you know just beats on little old ladies and shit like that. Not that kind of bad boy. So the thing is, though, I really did really like this movie. I thought it was really, really good. I love the score. I love the whistling, that was going on. That
At the
old,
start of the movie, you know who was whistling?
yeah, it was the director.
Yeah,
I found that when I looked it up, but I just thought overall it was just really, really good. I mean, it kept you uh, it kept you intrigued through the whole thing because you didn't know who was going to do what and who was going to screw over who, basically. And I like that part of it. But in a western, and I think there was only like three women in the whole movie, and they were only in there for a very, very short amount of time. So, so I just dressed up a little bit like the lady that was in there for half a minute or whatever, the wife of the innkeeper.
mm-hmm.
She was very intrigued with the young Clint Eastwood dashing man character that came in and kicked the other guy out of his room. I thought that whole thing was really funny, the whole scene. But the thing is, she's wearing a wedding ring, but she's openly flirting with Clint Eastwood, and like wanting to, act like, hey, look at me, whatever, even though her husband's standing right there, the whole time. I thought that was kind of low. So, but I guess women had to do what they had to do back then because, there wasn't really a lot of opportunity to be successful at jobs or anything for women. So,
I don't know. I think this movie gets a lot right. I think there's a lot of it that I want to know more about Lee Van Cleef's character,
mhm.
and we do go on a little journey as the movie progresses. We get to see exactly who he is and why he's where he's at. And
Yeah.
as
Oh, go ahead.
go ahead, no, just as the movie hits its apex, like between the second and third act, it just feels like it everything is falling into place. And
Mhm.
the only negative I have is that up until the second act uh bridges into the third, it feels like for me the movie doesn't have pacing down. Like there's a lot of, it starts getting going, it stops, it starts getting going, it stops, it starts getting going, it stops. And I don't know if it's the exposition or if it's the the camera work, but it feels more disjointed. And
Well, what do you mean it stops and then it goes? I didn't see anything like that. You
it
mean
it
that
just
it was a long pause? There was
it
nothing
feels like
happening.
there's like too many long pauses at certain points in the start of the film where it
Hmm.
starts getting going, and probably right around, I would say, when Juan Wild gets it, that was where the movie for me really started to shuffle and move.
Hmm.
But up until that point, it felt like it was just drip feeding me stuff and teasing me with a brisker pace. That's my biggest issue, is the
Okay.
pace of this movie. It's not a bad film by any means. It's a wonderful movie. But the problem that I have with it, it just feels like for some odd reason the script never truly shifts into like from fifth to sixth gear.
See,
And
I didn't
hard to like, I
that way
found
at
it to
all.
have faster pace than A Fistful of Dollars. Fistful of Dollars for me is breakneck. It to me, that movie, because I've probably also seen that movie like 12 or 15 times, that movie there feels like it's just rocketing along. This movie here doesn't, because you have the added drama of what's going on with uh, Colonel Mortimer, and the
Mhm.
potential with what could be his daughter, which
Yeah,
we
well,
could
you
find
don't
out.
really know that.
You don't
The
know
thing
that.
is, you don't have any idea why
None.
the Colonel's even there,
And
except when Clint Eastwood's character finds out that he's there because he is a bounty hunter. So that's the only thing you think of. You're not really knowing that there's more of a story behind it until you watch, because it's all done through back scenes, flashback
mhm,
scenes with the lead antagonist guy. And every time he
yeah.
opens up his pocket watch, he goes back in time. And he sees this young lovers, and she's in her sheer little night outfit in bed, and they have a heart-shaped box. It's about that big laying on the bed, and it's got a pocket watch in it. And you see the young man that's sitting there with blue jeans and like a long john shirt on, a young blonde man. Like, they look like they're both in their late or early 20s or late teens or whatever. And he's looking at the pocket watch, and you don't hear him speaking, you just see him. And you see the antagonist come in. He's looking through the window, and he's wiping the rain, because you can see the rain's pouring down the thing. Now, I don't know if that's a metaphor or not, if it was really raining. See what I mean? So to
Mhm.
me, it was a little bit of a intriguing to me about, is he looking through the glass and seeing his woman with another man? Or is it raining on his parade? That type of thing. Is it the woman he wants for himself, and she's with another man? She chose someone else. See, I didn't know. I was like torn as a woman in the romance part of that. Okay, so to me that was intriguing to me, because I'm a woman. To men, it's probably no big deal. But then you see the door open, and he goes in, and you don't see the two move. So you're wondering, where is this guy? Is it in his imagination, or is it really happening in the flashback? So it looks like he's up above them and a little bit in the through the spokes on the banister, and he's looking through, and he's looking down a little bit, and he sees them. And then all of a sudden he walks around, as the cutscene gets longer and longer throughout the movie. Every time he opens up his pocket watch, and you hear the music playing, because it plays music. And then you see him step around the edge of the banister, and that's when they look at him and realize that he's in there. And they look at him, but the guy just stands up, almost like they recognized him or something, or knew who he was. That's why I thought it was more to the story than what a couple of you guys were saying, than him just being someone, it's just somebody off the street. I think that he had some type of, maybe he was a stalker for this woman, or he wanted her, but she spurred him for this other man, whatever. But whatever the reason is, he was angry, and he pulls out his gun, and he shoots the young man multiple times until he falls to the ground. Then you see the girl sitting up and not knowing what to do, and then he runs over and he rips off her outfit. Now, you can see that she's naked underneath the the stuff, but when he pulls it off, you don't have to see that she's naked. And then the next time it comes back, you see him on top of her and I guess raping her, and she's just laying in there, and her dead man is laying on the ground. And then you see her take the gun that was on the bed and bring it over to herself, and she shoots herself in the chest, into the heart from the side right here. So she commits suicide during that time that guy's raping her. So that guy that raped her, he took the locket and kept it as a memento of his lost love or whatever, because he is just psycho. I mean, he's just a psycho, and he does such a good job at portraying uh, pure evil. Basically, he was totally evil and horrible. And you see it as it progresses throughout the movie, all the horrible deeds he does by watching people being tortured, and he laughs, and all his underlings or whatever, they all stand around and laugh and stuff, because they're all afraid of him. You know, you could tell they're all afraid to cross him because they know he's nuts. There's no telling, what he might do next. So that right there to me was upped the movie when it came to the person that they had to win, they had to beat. And how are these two men, now that they're together as a team, as bounty hunters to work together, going to be able to stop this guy, because he is totally way out there and just willing to do anything. You don't know what he's going to do because he's just nuts. So they did a good job, all three of them. And I can see why you had to have a little bit more pacing, more to the story, because now you have three stars. You don't just have Clint Eastwood and the guy like we did in the first movie. This one we have three starring roles basically, and then you have all like 20 something supporting actors of different levels. So there's a lot more characters in this movie. So to me, I don't know if that was the reason why it upped the game, but I really did feel that the director just got better at everything about how he wanted his characters to interact with each other, pushing the story dialogue to make you draw you in more. Like I felt like they had romance, even though you only saw a couple women for a very, very short time. It was enough, and the scene was enough to draw me in for the romance aspects. Because I didn't know whether or not the young man that we thought had died on the side of the bed was uh, the colonel or not. See, I didn't put all that together until I got towards the very end, where the story unfolded, and we realized it was either his sister or his daughter that he was trying to get revenge against that guy, and he finally got the pocket watch back, which I loved. So that was like, it was a character arc that went all the way around and finished, and I love that part of it. I thought that was, the heroes win at the end, even though they're not really heroes, because everything they're doing is basically against the law today. I mean, we would all probably get in jail for killing all those people. But I love the scene at the end where you get to see Clint Eastwood going around and he gets that guy's body after he's dead. And then you don't realize that he's got a little wagon with all the dead bodies in it, and he's going to take it to town to collect the money. Which I thought was hilarious. That was funny. And then you see the one guy, the skanky guy that was trying to backstab his boss. He's hiding behind the rock and he's bleeding a little bit, and he's going to shoot Clint Eastwood because he's counting how much money he's going to make by counting all the bodies. I just thought that was really funny. Did you like that one scene?
I like a lot of this movie. The only thing I don't like is that like it just feels like around the flashback points, for some odd reason the movie doesn't, the pace for me doesn't seem to hold up. That's all.
Hmm.
But I like the double stabbing, the double playing individuals in this movie. I like the tension between Lee Van Cleef and Clint Eastwood quite a bit.
Yeah.
This is probably the playing off of those two, that for me is a higher point than just the characterizations in Fistful of Dollars.
Hmm.
Fistful of Dollars, Clint Eastwood was basically only befriending the casket maker and the bartender Pepito
Mhm.
Pepiro.
Yeah, but they were
And
little.
after that,
They weren't like, main actors. They were like
no,
supporting
they were just
his
supporting
position.
cast.
Now in this movie, you have 3 main actors all supporting each other, but,
Hmm.
they all are interacting, almost all about the exact same amount of time on screen, and their importance to the story. So that changes, how, the director wants to portray to us why they're important. Do you see what I mean? That's
Hmm.
what changes the pacing a little bit and stuff, and I felt like they had to put the story up, to put more meaning behind what was really going on behind the scenes with the characters in their heads. Why did he lay there all the time and daydream and look like he was taking all kinds of drugs? Just like we were talking, he was doing drugs. He was drinking all the time. They had rape in here. They had tons of stuff in this movie that you would not see in the early 1960s, I don't think, or late
No.
50s. But the performances by 3 huge actors. I mean, to me, uh, they were all competing for your viewing. You see what I mean? So I thought they did just an excellent job, and I thought Van Cleef was just phenomenal in the
This is
character.
this is Van Cleef's movie.
Yeah, I
I mean,
definitely.
when I was watching
But he
it,
didn't knock, Eastwood out. You see what I
no,
mean? It was like, it was, to me, the whole scene where they step on each other's shoes and they're shooting each other's hats was a pacing contest. One was a little older, but he was already, successful, because you could tell by the way he dressed and everything that he had earned where he was at. Clint Eastwood was new and young, a young gun, a new young gun, was working his way up to become successful. And that's why when he's sitting in there doing the shots,
mhm,
drinking, he's kind of acting like it's no big deal, that uh, until he starts realizing that if I want to be his age one day, maybe I should listen to this guy, that kind of thing. It was like a mentor. Uh, as it was going along, he became more of a mentor to him instead of just another guy that's trying to take his money, or beat him to the bounty or whatever. So I like that, because it was like they were building a uh, a relationship as a mentor and a student, basically, on how to be a good bounty hunter. I liked it. I thought it was great. I love that part of it.
the bounty hunting aspect of this movie was a lot of fun. The fact they were working with each other while competing and being rivals, I think that's what elevates this movie from a common buddy film. Meanwhile, you got Gian Maria Volonte, who plays El Indio. He was also Rojo, Ramon Rojo in the last
Yeah,
movie,
Volonte. Yeah.
and he was really a good character actor.
Uh oh.
This film too. He movie like he did in that. He did a little bit better job, but in Cleef's film, and it's a great movie. Don't think that I'm not saying it's not a great movie, but I'm comparing it to what I already have watched and I really loved. I've just never seen this movie all the way through, and for me, it's not the 99% movie that a lot of other people feel that it is. Uh, for me, this movie is a solid 90%. It's not quite perfect. There's some aspects of it I would fix. There's some script portions of it that just feel slow for me. Sorry, but I
That's,
feel that
no, don't be sorry. That's your
I
point of
feel that
view.
I like the I like Fistful of Dollars a little better because for me you have two families, the Baxters and the Rojos, which are both assholes. The Baxters might have the law on their side, but the Rojos have fucking just talent and they don't give a fuck about law. We're out in the middle of nowhere and there's no way that we're going to give a shit about what the badge says. and we're going to
Mhm.
take the Mexicans gold. And for me, that's just a more one straightforward film. But it too, I just liked that movie better. This movie here, it felt like there was a lot of weight and drama in it, which there is. And once you get to the end, you understand why for the longest time, like it felt like there's a shadow over the film, and you find out why there's a shadow over the film. It's like, okay, well, that makes sense. And the end comes, and Van Cleef gets his due day, his day in court, basically, his day in the circle, and it's great. It's one of the best endings to a western. I think these two movies here are my favorite two westerns I've ever seen. I've
Well,
not seen
to
other
me,
westerns that are of this quality. I've seen Silverado 1 and 2. I've seen Young Guns 1 and 2, and those are okay, but they're
well,
not.
I thought this was a step up. I really do. I liked the overall movie more.
Mhm.
There were some good scenes in the other one, and if I hadn't seen this one, I wouldn't have known that it was better. You know, I wouldn't have expected it to be better. I
Yeah,
wasn't expecting more of it, but this one had so much more uh, story to me. It was more
there there's a
believable.
dense there's a
It
dense story to this.
Yeah, this was a more believable. The way it unfolded was more believable than the last movie. Just like I said, the last one where he's trying to, save that woman and get her back with her kid and her husband and all that stuff. He comes up and there's this little tiny little village, right? He has
Mhm.
this, and he's hiding behind a wall looking over at all these guys that just rode into town, and his horse is sitting out there, but they rode into town from a distance, and there's no way you couldn't see that there's this horse with a saddle just sitting there, that one of them wouldn't go over there and check. There was this little more and more of those things that made it unbelievable, and it didn't connect, and I expected it to be a B movie basically, but this one to me was an A movie. It wasn't a B movie any longer. You see what I mean? It upped its game to be a movie that could compete with other movies like Unforgiven, and other movies like that. To me,
Mhm.
simply because it had more in it, had more to offer. The direction was better. The sets were better. The the makeup, for when the people were shot, things like that was better. Everything was better. It definitely improved. And I don't know how much more money they had this time, but I could see that the eye of the director was better. He had better vision of what he was trying to portray, and he knew how to do it this time. He had learned from when he did work with these people before. But the other thing that was better is I could see that the actor that played, is it Volonte? Is that how you pronounce
Mhm.
it?
Mhm.
Okay. The actor that portrayed him in this movie, I could tell was better at acting than he was when he was in the other movie. Either that or the fact that he cared more about this character this time or something. I don't know what it was, but he was better at doing it than he was in the first one. He was so good at playing a person that was like, um, he was a narcissistic pig, basically, and he was like fueled with violence, and he was euphoric from it. It was almost like a drug. As soon as he opened that pocket watch and started going back into the whatever it was, he was getting some, it was like feeding off of this anger and hate for this woman and guy, what how they betrayed him, and he took it out on everyone around him, and he did a great job at making me feel that hate that he had and how he hated himself. And it made me think of that one scene. It's like I said, I think I remember you, if you were in the room or not, in that one scene in Tombstone where Wyatt Earp went to go see his best friend, and he's dying in the sanitarium. And he was, or when he wasn't in the sanitarium, he was in the house with, at the ranch. And Clint Eastwood's character is about to go see Ringo and have that, that duel. And he asked him, he said, "I can't beat him, can I?" And he says, "No, you can't." And he says, "What makes a man like Ringo?" And he says, uh, he he hates he hates himself basically, and he hates everything. He just wants it over with. And then he says, "Why?" And he said, "For being born." He wants revenge. And that's basically what I felt this character was. This character just hates he hates being alive, and he just wants everyone to suffer along with him as long as he's breathing, basically. And I could to me it was overwhelming. He did a great job, and if anybody was going to be nominated from this movie, I would have picked him. Volonte, definitely. The actor that played Volonte should get an Academy Award. Not that he would win, but he should be picked to have won one, simply because he did such a good job at playing that character that it was so believable to me. It was almost made me nauseated thinking about the scene where he's raping her and she commits suicide, right there in bed while he's raping her. It was very emotional. I got very emotional for that. Maybe it's because I'm a girl. I don't know, but to me, I just thought it was really, really well done movie. And I thought the direction of the director was just phenomenal. I thought he did a great job. And you just don't see that very often. You could see the passion just coming out of the screen for the director, pushing his actors to perform. And he did a great job at it. I mean, it was awesome. I mean, I thought this movie was very good. And I can't believe it. Remember, I rated the last movie in 90,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm rating this one even higher, simply because I could see a huge change in development for the actors and for the director. And they all learned from the last movie, and they shows on this one. I could definitely see it. And you could tell it wasn't that long between that movie and this one for the age of the actors and stuff. And then they added a new actor that was already kick ass, you know what I mean? So it made it even better. He just upped it a notch, and I thought it was good. So that's my point of view on definitely for the acting and for the direction. But the women, he doesn't really have a lot of women in his movies, and when they are in it, they're only in it for, a very small amount of time, especially to make it more realistic. To me, that is basically why he did it, because women really didn't, ride around on horses and shoot guns and do duels and stuff like that. So the women, when you do see them, like the one scene when Clint Eastwood's first meeting up with the guys after the boy tells him that there was 4 people, the 2 new ones just joined, and now they're across the street in the saloon. Remember that scene? And Clint Eastwood goes up to the swinging doors, and he looks in. And when he looks in, there's a pan. The director pans across the saloon, right? And you see the staircase going upstairs, I guess, where the prostitutes would take their men. And then you see a couple of the women sitting and one walking over, but the one sitting down has her dress all hiked up, and she's pulling up her thigh-high stockings and stuff like that. So the attention to detail for the director, to me, was even better. I mean, he was showing more of what it was like to live back then and run a saloon, what you would actually see in a saloon. You see the piano guy playing the piano, and then you see people sitting around playing poker, and a few people sitting at the bar, but not really sitting at the bar. They're kind of like leaning up against the bar. So it was like to me, it was more authentic. I just felt like was actually looking at a old saloon. You know what I mean? So I was brought into the scenes more than I was in the scenes from the first movie when I watched it. That's the little things that to me made it more authentic. And then Clint Eastwood just pushes the doors open, and he goes in, and you can see him like scoping the place. And that's when he's talking to the bartender about what this one guy's name is, when he goes up to the table, and then he ends up being able to cheat better than the other guy because he had 3 aces. I thought that was a really good scene, but it brought you into the saloon. It brought you into the action that was actually going on, like you were part of it almost. And I loved directors that are able to do that. And I felt the director was able to pull me into it, even like I was standing right there at the table. You know what I mean? That's how I felt.
I felt like this movie. There's a lot of intimacy in this film.
Hmm.
The director felt like it just felt like there was a very controlled uh, set, even though like there's some wide open expanses. He
Yeah.
does amazing shots with the cinematographer. Fucking bravo, by the way. And for those of you that want to know about that, cinematographer for a few dollars more is no, not Clint Eastwood. Back Simba, back. Okay,
Let's see. My list says
I got
I just have the directors and writers. Mine doesn't. My list doesn't have the cinematographer on here.
screenplay. I want to say that Sergio Donati's part of it, and
Mm.
then cinematographer Massimo Dallamano. He was director of photography,
Oh, okay. Mm.
and he's kind of towards the bottom there, past composer Inigo Morricone, who also
Yeah,
did.
and they're both uncredited. That's interesting
Yep, and
because we know they were paid. And when
Massimo
you're
died in,
uncredited in a movie like that, it means you get no residual checks.
yeah.
It means you get nothing. You just pay that flat amount of money to be there to do the job, and that's it. You get nothing else. So, even though whatever he did, and they did good. This group of guys that worked together to make this movie worked well together. And
Mhm.
just like I said, well, the two actors with Lee Van Cleef and Clint Eastwood, they had really good chemistry to make me believe that this is a young up and coming stud basically is going to take over for the old guy when he's gone. You know what I mean? He was going to step into his boots, and I felt like that. I felt like that's what the way that they interacted. The whole scene with the stepping on each other's boots, and I just loved it. I thought it was very macho. It wasn't too much over the top either. By the sixth time he shot his hat, you was like, when's he gonna run out of bullets? That was the only thing I was thinking. I wasn't thinking that sooner or later he's gonna get fed up. He's gonna try and just shoot him in the leg or something. That's what I was thinking. And that scene where he got up on his horse, or was getting ready to get up on his horse and leave, Clint Eastwood was, and he shot him in the neck to give him that little nick, and he grabbed it, and he saw him look, and he saw blood coming. So for a
Yep.
second, I was really worried. And then he said, "Well, you're going to have some kind of damage to show that you that you were shot at and running for your life, while the other guys all died, right?" So I thought, wow, he's really smart. He's quick on his feet, and that's what I liked about it. Is that even though he was pretty much an equal when it came to actually shooting their weapons, and how
Actually,
tough.
I want to say that Van Cleef is a little quicker.
Well, when he was Clint Eastwood's age, this is what I was going to say. When he was Clint Eastwood's age, he was probably way faster than Clint Eastwood is, right?
Okay,
You
they
could,
call each other boy and old man, right? But you
yeah.
realize those two guys are only like 5 years apart.
Well, they didn't look it in the movie, okay? And they were portraying characters that looked like maybe he was uh 15 years older than him, okay? Something like that. That he is because he said, I'm almost 50. That's what he was saying. So he's in his 40s, and this other guy looked like he was in his 20s or early 30s. That's what it looked like to me. But the whole way that they interacted is what made it really, really believable. You know what I mean? The way they looked at each other, the way they spoke, just little digs at each other. Because I think they both realize that both of them were damn good at what they do. It's just that they do it in two different ways, the way that they get the information. So the whole thing is, it's so funny when their conversations, when one's trying to outdo the other, and they're spitting out the information they have. Well, I know this is what's about to happen, and this is where they're going. And the other one goes, well, you forgot about this. They have this, and and then he just shows up and he says, I'm here to he's eating a meal or whatever, and the hunchback goes to fight him, and that's when he says, well, I can help you open the safe. And he goes like, what? And then the other guy's going, what the hell, what's he doing? And he's trying to drink his drink, and he's just stuck. the stare and listening to him, wondering what the hell he's got up his sleeve. I just love that because that showed that wisdom does make a difference on how you see things and how it's going to end up later. Because he even pulled one over on him. See what I mean? Because he goes, I knew you weren't going to go. I knew you weren't going to tell him what I told you to tell him. Because so he was already one step ahead of him. So that showed me that wisdom does go along with age, and that he's still alive and hadn't been shot because of it. And that if Clint Eastwood learns from him, that he'll still be alive when he's 50. See what I mean? That type of thing. So I really like that. I love the way they bounced off each other that way, and it showed you that even though he's an older dog, doesn't mean he ain't no good. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. I just loved it. I just love the banter between the two of them. So that I love that part of the movie. I think that's one reason maybe I think the movie was better than the other one because I like the fact that he had a partner, even though they weren't really partners. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But I loved it. I thought this was a little bit better than Fistful of Dollars myself. But it's good. It's a great movie.
And you're right. There's some things about Fistful of Dollars that are a little smaller. We'll talk about budget. Budget for Fistful of Dollars was up to $250,000
Hmm.
estimated. We don't have a
Yeah.
concrete number. They say 200 to $250,000 there on the Wikipedia's.
Uh-huh.
Then for this film, they had a budget of 600,000, and the box office for this movie was 25.5 million.
Hmm. So it made a lot of money.
Oh yeah, the other one made a lot of money for what it was, 19.9 million. This made 25.5 million.
Mhm.
Not quite as much of a growth spurt as they'd like, but they're still happy. They're
Well, what
still
other
making
movies? I'd like to know what other movies, what other westerns or movies like this came out at the box office the same time this one came out. If you know. Yeah, I was
Mm,
gonna tell everybody I put money in here because it was called A Few Dollars More. I thought I'd put some money in the scene, showing that it's I got a few dollars more now because we're all a little richer. But yeah, I just thought this movie was really, really. I was a little bit shocked because I wasn't expecting it to be this, such a good story and have so much more in it. I mean, even it had way more actors, it had way more everything, and you could tell that the director just wanted it to be more. I don't know, more focused. It was more focused on the characters and the story than just everybody all just blowing each other away and I don't know, and
well,
being able to hide in plain sight and all those things.
I got 7 movies that Microsoft thought they would talk to us about.
Hmm.
North to Alaska, which is a lighthearted movie about the gold rush, made in 1960 with John Wayne, has a little bit of romance and comedy to it.
Huh?
You have Cimarron, which is the Oklahoma land rush. Thank you, Thomas Jefferson, and challenges faced by the frontier families, showcasing the epic scope of the Western narratives.
Hmm.
Then you have Sam Peckinpah's The Wild Bunch of 1969. It's a very violent movie of aging
So there
outlaws
were
and
some good
binging.
movies then.
Yeah,
And
in
those movies,
1960,
how well they do.
and I have no idea about that. I'm not
Oh, okay.
delving into that. The Magnificent Seven was made in 1960. It's a
Mhm.
remake of Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai, and that talks about a group of gunfighters hired to protect a Mexican village from bandits. In '69, we have John Wayne's return to the Western genre with True Grit, and that got him an Academy Award as Rooster Cogburn, a tough U.S. Marshal. The remake is really
Oh,
good.
uh-huh.
You have Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, another 1969 film with with Paul Newman and Robert Redford. This has a little bit of humor, a little bit of action, and 2 outlaws on the run from the law.
Yeah, that was good. My mother loved that movie. I know for sure.
Hardwick's like, my favorite Western is Rio Bravo. Rio Bravo is pretty okay.
I've never seen that one.
It's good. I want to say it's another John Wayne film. Another good John Wayne film. John Wayne's movies. There's three of them that I think are must sees, and that's The Sands of Iwo Jima, Rio Bravo, and True Grit. Those three there are fucking amazing. And
Is
then
True
you're
Grit the
gonna
one with Shirley MacLaine?
no, that's I believe she wore yellow ribbon. I believe that's
I just
she wore yellow ribbon. I could be wrong, but
I don't know. There was one, and it was something Miss Somebody, and she was like a a sister something. That's what I thought it was called.
oh, Two Mules for Sister Sarah.
Yeah, that one. That was my
That's what
mother
it
had
was.
loved that one too. I just remember. I'm just trying to remember. It was really hard for me to remember all the names, but my mom loved westerns. My mom loved country western. She loved Elvis. Just that kind of stuff. She just and she went to Vegas a lot because my dad's brother lived in Vegas. So every summer they went to Vegas. My mom, my mom loved it. She just loved the casino. We just stayed at my uncle's house and swam in the pool and things like that when they went. But my mom just, she just loved it. I was lucky to get to go and go to so many places when I was growing up. But my mom loved, the like I don't know what you call them. I guess the Rat Pack or something.
The Rat Pack for
Yeah,
like
their music
Dean
and
Martin.
their movies, all
Yeah.
all that stuff. So she grew up on all that junk. She
The
loved all
seventh
that.
movie in that is The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, which we're going to watch next week. Which that's the third movie of the Dollar Trilogy.
And then the one after that, is it going to be the one I would like to watch?
Which one do you want? Bridges in Madison
Paint Your
County
Wagon.
or which one?
Paint Your Wagon
Paint Your
with Lee
Wagon.
Marvin.
Okay,
Clint
we'll do Paint
Eastwood.
Your Wagon in 2 weeks.
Okay, good. Because you
That,
said
that,
we're going to do Clint Eastwood, and that's one of the ones I want to
we're not
watch.
doing a month of Clint Eastwood. We're doing a season.
Well,
We're doing
whatever.
we're doing a fucking season plus because there's just too much goodness there for me to be like, oh yeah, we're gonna do 4 movies, and then after that, no, we're gonna do more than that. We can do better. We're gonna do a season of Clint Eastwood films, and by the end of it all, you're all gonna have this permanent fucking onion face on your mouth, where you just look at people and they're like, "Are you okay?" It froze like that.
Yeah, that movie sounds
Yeah,
familiar. The one that Harwick just brought up. Yeah, I
Real
think my
Bravo
mom
with
had
Dean
that
Martin,
movie.
Ricky Nelson, Walter Brennan, and Angie Dickinson. Yeah, that's Real
Play
Bravo.
Misty for Me. That's another movie. I remember my mother crying when she watched that on TV. I don't know why, because I can't remember really what happens in it. I just know Clint Eastwood was in it. So I don't know what happened to make my mom cry, but I remember her crying watching that movie. So it must be really tragic. But I haven't seen it yet. Is that going to be on the list? It's Clint Eastwood.
Hold on.
And I can't remember the actress that was in it. I can see her face, but I can't remember what her name is. That was in that movie.
Donna
What?
Mills. Donna
Donna
Mills.
Mills? Okay. It's not bringing.
I believe she's the one who played Toby. That movie there is actually kind of different because that was his directorial
What?
debut.
Play Misty for Me?
Play
He
Misty for
directed
Me.
it?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, I didn't know.
yeah. That was the one that my mom and I used to argue about because she didn't want to watch it, and I did. And when we started watching it, it doesn't have Sandra in it. So my mom was like, "Okay, I thought this had Sandra Locke in it." And my mother hates her. I don't know
Hates
why.
Sandra Locke?
The lady that Clint Eastwood had as a wife and partner for so many
Yeah,
years.
she was in Any
Uh,
Which Way But Up or something. Blonde.
basically,
Yeah.
yeah,
I didn't think
yeah.
she was
Sandra
that good of
Locke.
an actress or anything, but I really didn't really see many things with her in it. So,
She's 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 got Yoko Ono syndrome, in my
no.
opinion. She hitches her wagon to a very popular guy, very talented guy, and there's three of these in Hollywood or in the West Coast that I want to point out. You got poor John
Mhm.
Lennon because he's got the original. He's got the original Oriental Shrieker the mushroom that we should have left in the dark. Can't stand her voice. Then you got Sandra Locke, who was with Clint Eastwood up until a certain point, and she died in 2018. Sorry, bro. She wasn't my favorite actress. Sorry, I don't like her that much. But she's in The Gauntlet, Every Which Way But Loose,
What's the
Outlaw, Sudden
Gauntlet
Impact.
about?
It's just a constant chase
I know,
film.
but is he a cop? I mean, what is he? What is he? Because I don't think I've seen that one either.
He's a detective out of Phoenix with a strong-willed witness from Las Vegas to find himself the target of both the mob and corrupt law enforcement. It's a chase movie. Big overblown chase film. It's not bad. It's about as good as like your worst Joe Dante movie.
I don't. Is
And
he the
Clint
one
Eastwood
that
directed
directed
it.
Bridges Over Madison County?
I'm not certain about
Okay,
that.
well, I wanted to put that on the list because he is in it.
It's on
Yeah,
the
I know,
list.
but he's in it, and I've seen that one, and I loved that movie. I thought it was really, really good, but I don't know if he directed it or not. But that's good. I'm glad it's on the list because it's a movie.
The gauntlet ends with the worst Kamehameha where they shoot the house and they shoot everything, and then the house collapses on top of them. I believe, if I remember right, that's what I think happens. And then afterwards, him and her claw out from the house, and like they just walk off, and they walk safely away from the gauntlet. It's a very much not my favorite Clint Eastwood film, but if you want that on the list, we'll put it on there, and I'll just smash my dick with a hammer.
Which one? The Gauntlet? Because I've never seen it. After we're finished, we can watch a few of the trailers for some of these, and then I can pick them because there's a lot of these that you're mentioning I've never seen. But did you see the Hardwick posted something about the breakup between the Clint Eastwood and Lockie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember this.
And he said that she made some really dark accusations against him.
This was the first time in my life I was warned about do not marry the wrong woman.
What I was going to say about that is I've heard many of you guys say that it's exciting because to be with women like that because that crazy is great or something. Remember, you guys said they're really good at that.
I don't want to stick my dick in crazy anymore.
Okay, well, a lot of men seem to like that. They think that the crazier she is, the better she is in bed, and you get what you want. So that's the way
I learned my lesson.
I mean,
I promise you, I learned my lesson.
Well, not everyone does. Some of us don't.
The third actress in the hitch your wagon to somebody obviously more talented than you is Hillary Clinton. Yep, she's an actress and she gets on TV a lot and she lies her ass off. She hitched her wagon to Bill Clinton.
Oh, I think he hitched his wagon to her. That's what I think.
No, she hitched her to him. She could not be successful.
She was already a successful lawyer. Remember,
she was not a successful lawyer.
I'm talking about
she was not successful
because she was in the middle of the Whitewater scandal.
She got booted because of ethics.
I know, she's scum. And that's why I think Clinton connected with her because he wanted to make sure he won governor. Because I remember the first time he ran, they lost.
No, he lost the first time because he wasn't married, if I remember right. And
so he married Hillary Clinton. They had a kid, and then he got elected.
Tell you what, Hillary, if you'll do me a favor, just get pregnant. I don't give a shit if you got to fuck Philip Hubbley or whatever the fuck that ugly bastard's name is. Go ahead and have sex with him.
You should get you I told you to set up a thing on audio. Have you done that yet?
I'm good. I'll do that later. We're gonna have a hell of a time, guys. Come on, we're all going to the strip club. Philip, Mr. Hubbley, will you please have sex with my wife? Thank you so much. I'll get you a solid bra.
Because Clint was having sex with everybody else or whatever. Clinton was.
Man, I'm so busy in this strange poon. People don't understand the complications I got going on right now. Hey, can I borrow a cigar? Thank you. Yeah, there's others, but like the story of Clint Eastwood didn't end there. The ending of Sandra Locke's relationship with him. She was never married, but she claimed palimony because she was his buddy for so many years and appeared
Did
in
they
so
have
many of
kids
his works
together?
that people. I don't believe so.
Or did they have? How long were they together? For a while?
I'm gonna find out.
Because if she won money, then I guess they thought she deserved it.
I don't think Scott's her daughter. I don't think Scott's her son.
No, that's not his mother.
No.
But one thing I did want to mention
No kids.
to everyone that's watching, that one trivia thing that I found that I thought was wonderful was it said that Lee Van Cleef was very grateful for the part in this movie as he had fallen on hard times due to his heavy drinking. This movie effectively marked a resurgence in his career, because during the time that he was not getting any acting jobs, that he was trying to, he was painting, trying to make money through painting. So if you get a chance, go look up some of his art, because it's just interesting, the things that you can find out and I would never look this up if it hadn't been for me watching this movie. But we did a movie, what was it, The Princess Bride, a while back, and found out that one of the actors basically drank himself to death. And it's sad because a lot of people cling to drinking or popping pills or other sex addiction, eating, or whatever it is, because they don't like what's going on in their life. So if you have those type of things in your life, try to start looking in the mirror and saying, I'm going to make myself better, because whoever it was that didn't want me is going to look at me later and say, wow, I wish I'd stuck with that person. But then you can just flaunt that, look at me, I'm healthy now, I eat right, I'm doing all these things, and better yourself and prove to them that they're wrong. So I just wanted to tell people that, because it's sad to see so many people that fail in their life simply because for whatever reason they let another person make them feel so worthless and terrible that they end up drinking themselves to death and stuff like that. I just think it's heartbreaking. I just wanted to bring that up, and I'm glad that this helped rejuvenate his career, and he got more work again. Started getting more work because he did such a good job in this movie. See, he didn't lose his ability. You could tell he's in this movie and he kicked ass doing his character. It was the fact that he let a bottle rule what he was doing and when he was going to be able to do anything. So don't let that happen.
He really just needed a good friend like Oliver Reed. Oliver Reed would have gotten his ass out of fucking bed at fucking makeup trailer at 6 a.m. We might be drunk, but we're actors. Let's go to make some money, you little faggot.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And that's what Oliver Reed would have been like. He would have been like, "Come on, let's go."
I felt sorry for him. It just ripped my heart out when I found out what happened to him, because something about him, he hated himself so much that he felt like he had to lean to drinking. And to me, that's terrible.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to introduce my co-host here. This is tequila, and I've been drinking it, sipping it down the whole time.
I'm drinking this,
and
it's lemonade.
Delicious. It looked like a Lysol bottle. I'm like, what are you doing?
See, it says bitch. Bitch be gone. Fuck around and find out. Spray. It's a cup. I love it. I drink lemonade out of it. But
Clint was married a few times. Last one I kept count on was Dina Reuse. And she was a newsreader. Wasn't that also Dina Shore? I might be wrong.
I don't think so. I thought Diana Shore was like famous. Oh, I don't know. Because my mom was, knew Diana Shore as an actress. So I don't know. I don't know how.
I got a request, Janet. I got to repeat something from last time we did a show
I got
together.
my list. Hold on. I got to dig it out.
You got your list? We're going to do our top 10 list. We're going to repeat it.
Let me find it real quick. I think it's on this notepad right here.
Shadow, I'm going to read my list to you. Actually, Janet, why don't you and I alternate our list?
Wait a minute. Let me find mine. Or you go ahead and.
What do you? That's always the thing with you. Let me find mine. If you
Sorry.
would just use Google
I
Desk.
didn't know that. I haven't been able
Google
to make
Desk
my
is your
video because
friend.
I've had so much stuff going on. But hold on, I'm trying to see if it's this notebook or not. It's not that one because I pulled it out yesterday while we were doing our thing, and that's when I went, "Oh, that's my. Here it is. I found it. Woohoo!" Okay.
Do you have an honorable mention?
Let me see. Did I have one? Yes, I had Jaws. Jaws
Okay.
was my honorable, the one that I wanted to put in there, but I just didn't know which one I wanted to get rid of, put it in there. So it's another one that I just loved.
Yeah. Mine, if I had a perfect 12 movies, my 12 would be like Aliens from 86 because it was so damn good. But I can't put that in there because the last 20 minutes of the movie I really don't care about. I like the movie up until the last Marine dies. And that's about it. She's gonna live. She's gonna beat up the alien.
But is Shadow in the chat right now?
Shadow's in the
Are you
chat
sure
right now.
he's still here? He didn't just say that and then leave?
Pretty certain. He says this right here, and he said it on your chat of all things.
Oh, well, see, I can't look at my chat because I have to open it up on my phone. So just give me a second.
You open it up on your phone.
Gotta open it up again.
So, my honorable mention, number 11, for those of you counting, is Blade Runner Theatrical Cut 1982.
Okay.
I thought if that was going to be, I thought that would have been higher up for me, but it wasn't. Shadow and Sun, Jackie is asking, are you still here?
Yeah, are you? Because we were asking.
Okay.
But I got mine open now. I got my chat open on my phone.
What's your number 10?
Let's see. I guess it was Jaws. It was number 10 on my sheet. I just didn't have a number written by it, so I thought it was my honorable. I didn't have an honorable. So Jaws is my number 10 favorite movie.
My number 10 is The Crow from 1994. That was a movie you'd never seen before we watched it.
We have to make a real one.
No. We don't have to do a real one.
Well, I am going to do one, but I'll have to get pictures and pull up a few things to talk about my favorite scenes and stuff like that.
He's like, no, you got to make a real top 10 video. Okay. I'll get on that. The Crow for me and Jaws for you. What's your number 9?
My number 9 movie was The Last Unicorn. I love that movie. I really do. I love all my movies, but The Last Unicorn was my number 9.
That wasn't a bad movie. It's just not anywhere near the top 20 of mine. I like the background for that movie. I like the story better than the movie. I like the book better than the movie.
I didn't read the book,
Christopher.
So I love.
I didn't read it either. I had an audiobook. Somebody read it to me on the web while I went around and I sucked up grease and septic. It was really good. It was a good night. Number 9 for me, 1994. Again, The Professional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was
Jean Reno, Natalie Ullman.
Yeah, we did that one, didn't we?
Yes, we did. We saw the director's cut, which I felt is less than the theatrical.
So
yeah, you hadn't seen it before then either. Another movie you haven't seen before you and I met up. What was your number 9?
That was my number 9. The Last Unicorn.
Uh-huh. What about number 8?
My number 8 was Tombstone.
Really?
It's in the top 10.
Tombstone.
The one with Val Kilmer. That one.
Of course. Not White Earp with Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
Oh, man. She's brought out the S word. That's almost as good as hearing an N word from me. All right. My number 8 is Gremlins 2. One of the greatest movies of all time. Mm-hmm. If you've not seen it, I don't know what to tell you. Gremlins 2 is a unprecedented classic. One of those few movies that does practical effects right. What's your number 7?
My number 7 is The Dark Crystal. I love that movie also. Yeah.
Sorry. I just like the Skeksis. They're just fun.
I know, and it sounded just like a lot of the characters from all the movie, yeah,
Muppet
the
shows.
Muppets. But to me, the one sounded like Yoda.
Hmm.
So they had similar voices, but I loved Dark Crystal. I just love you know the the fantasy of it. I told you I love fantasy
I love the
sci-fi
world building of it. If
horror.
do you have your Netflix account still or
Do
no?
what?
You got your Netflix account still?
Mm-mm, no.
I was going to say if you still had Netflix, you could watch the sequel, Age of Resistance,
I have Prime.
which is a
I
10
have
episode.
Prime.
It's a 10 episode Dark Crystal series written by the original people that did the first
Mhm.
movie. It was very much loved, and then Netflix, you know what they did? They didn't make a series of it for season 2. Nope, they canceled the shit out of it. No plans for anything
Well,
else. Even though it was well done, even though people that loved the first movie thought it was great, even though newcomers to the Dark Crystal were introduced to it and then went and saw the original 1984 movie, because all of this, Netflix gave two shits and made another Obama film.
I just
That
saw a
puppy.
post by Hardwick. He says, "Have you seen Meet the Feebles? It's a Peter Jackson puppet movie. It's kind of like an R-rated version of the Muppets." No, but it sounds fun because I had a hard time wanting to put Team America World Police on my list because I absolutely love that movie. I laughed my ass off, but I used to love the Fraggle Rock. I know it sounds really bad, but I used to sit and watch Fraggle Rock by myself because I just loved that. That was adorable. I thought the whole concept of it was really good too. But it's not in my top 10 for movies.
You know, the ideal day sounds like just like sitting in fleece sweatshirts and cuddling on the couch and watching Jim Henson shows. I don't give a
I mean,
shit.
honestly, I
I
just
think
like this stuff. It's fun for me. This is why my sisters don't like me, is because this is the kind of stuff I like. They want to watch the Traveling Pants of the Sisterhood and stupid shit like that, whatever the name of that one was. But yeah,
yeah, Meet the Feebles is on the list
maybe
for
Hardwick is going to have to play
2027.
that movie for me at Discord so I can watch it. It sounds really intriguing.
The how did you like the movie the other night, Forbidden Planet? You've seen that before, right?
No, I'd never seen it. I got to see it the other night.
You've never seen Forbidden
And
Planet?
I loved it. I thought it was
Well, we'll do a
really, really
review.
good. It's very,
When we
very
get back to
dark,
our normal
but good.
programming, we'll get back to that.
But it was good. It was very well done
Okay.
too.
Your number 7 was Dark
Mhm.
Crystal. Mine's Face Off with
Yeah, that's a good
Nick
movie.
Cage and John
Yeah,
Travolta.
it's a good movie.
Yeah, I love that film, and that movie also showcased just how badly 1997 aged.
Oh, well,
We'll get back to 1997 in a bit. What's your number
number
6?
6, and I just love this movie. I want to see it. I like to see it. All of these movies I try to watch every year. So all this is the kind of stuff I like. But I love The Sixth Sense with Bruce Willis.
I just
And
saw
I
a
still
disturbing
cry every
thing.
time when the little boy, what he goes through. It's just, oh, I can see why this kid was nominated for Academy Award. He's such a good little actor. Loved him in this movie. This movie was so good. But yeah, I love Sixth Sense.
Well, Sandra Locke's first job, by the way, was a chicken plant for Tyson.
For real?
Yeah, that's on our IMDb.
Oh,
Okay. Number 6 for me is the Indonesian 2012 action classic, The Raid. And if you've not seen The Raid 2012, just go hunt it up on your Amazon Prime or your YouTubes or wherever you watch your movies. It's worth the $5. You're not going to watch another movie that kinetic ever. And there's a sequel to it. The sequel's really good, not as tight as the first. Janet, what is your number 5?
if
We're getting down to one
okay,
hand.
okay. But first, before I go to number 5, have I surprised you with my choices so far?
Not
Knowing me
really.
this long?
No, I've known you for a while, and also I heard your list about 2 weeks ago.
Okay, well, all I know is that I really didn't think about it really seriously by writing down, and it was it was very hard for me to actually write down 10 movies that were my favorite. Yeah, and I know everyone probably knows my favorite movie because I just can't help it. That's just the one. I'm still my favorite movie after many, many, many years. But my number 5 is Alien, the first Alien with Sigourney Weaver. That's my number 5 movie. It's horror, sci-fi, which I love. So
I don't want to make Hardwick upset, but I've never seen Metropolis. I've heard about it. I've almost watched it. Never got around to watching it. I need to watch it. I get
yeah,
it.
we're gonna watch it.
I'm getting around now to watching films everybody else has watched because of Clint Eastwood. That's why we're doing a season of them. That way it can shut people up after the midpoint of the year. I watched it. We had a whole fucking series of this. I did 18 episodes of Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. So
My number 5 is John Carpenter's 1992 classic with Kurt Russell, The Thing.
mm-hmm.
Can't have a top 5 list without that. It's my top 5 film of all time. It drops your jaw every time you watch it. Even nowadays,
Mm-hmm.
with a movie like The Substance or 1986's The Fly, both of those movies owe a lot to Rob Bottin's work in The Thing. And there's even some homages for that in The Substance, and that it also homages off the Fly 1986 with Jeff Goldblum as well. Do not forget that The Fly was originally a movie with what was that low budget director that did movie filming in a weekend? He filmed Big Trouble, no, the Fly Trap movie. Anyway, he filmed movies over a course of a weekend in a flower shop.
Well, I don't know.
Roger Corman.
Okay.
All right. What's your number 4?
My number 4th movie is Mr. Brooks.
Mr. Brooks.
Remember? With Demi Moore?
Demi Moore, Kevin Costner, and sadly departed man.
Well, it was wonderful. Psychological thriller. And it's still one of my very favorites.
It's a good movie. I wouldn't put it anywhere near my top 15. Kevin Costner. Do you know what's
and
not
you know
on my
I
top
don't like
10
him.
list?
I don't like Kevin Costner.
There's no Kevin Costner on my list.
My favorite movie with Kevin Costner because he can actually act in it. Him and his alter ego, the serial killer, are just they're phenomenal together. I mean, the way they acted together in this movie, and then like when he would adjust the mirror when he's talking to his wife, and in the back seat he was there even though he wasn't because it's in his mind. It just gives me the the chills every time I think about it. What a great job those two did playing a psycho serial killer. It's just really good. And anyone who likes movies, psychological thrillers would love this movie because it just has everything you're looking for in that type of movie. With the
my mom saw Kevin Costner and she turned it off.
With the two detectives, and their personal tragedies that's going on in their life at that time. And how the psychological killer is using them psychologically. I mean, it's everything about it just so freaking excellent. I just love that movie. You were shocked?
All right, here's where I'm going to just disagree with you real quick. I showcased that movie to my mother, and my mom started watching it, and she said within about 20 minutes she had it turned off, and she was having her flashbacks to The Postman. Because she just wasn't seeing the movie pay off. She didn't like the idea of it. She thought that watching a movie about a serial killer is glorifying violence, and she didn't want to watch it.
My mother wouldn't like it either.
Mom,
my mother didn't like blood and gore and all that stuff. But I loved it, even though I don't like him. And I didn't want to watch it because I don't like that character. I don't like him that much as an actor. But when I started watching it and I was able to, just see him as an actor and not as who I think he is or whatever, I don't care. He was phenomenal. Him and I can't remember the other guy's name that played his his psychological killer in his mind because he was seeing him as a different character. You know what I mean? As a different person.
Yeah, you got William
Yeah,
Hurt
William
is who
Hurt.
you're
Oh
thinking
my
of.
God, he was so good when he's like, "Come on, just like let's go play just for a little while." I mean, he was so freaking good. It's a good movie. I really like it. If you haven't seen it in the chat, you need to watch Mr. Brooks if you like psychological thrillers. I thought it was great.
So I for number four, my number four is Starship Troopers 1997
Mhm.
because 1997 is such an awesome movie year. Not as good as 94, not as good as 84, not as good as 82, or not as good as 86, but it's still like my top 5 year for movies. And Starship Troopers, would you like to know more? Holy shit, that movie still holds up. And I just discovered this last year that the young girl that blasts off the blonde's head in boot camp, there's a couple parts of that movie where like they're doing ADR, and he says in the shower, "I'm big, dumb, and stupid, and I'm from Texas," and she's turning her head away from the camera, and that's when they insert the post recording ADR of "I like him big" from her. And then later in the movie, she blows his head off in the middle of the boot camp exercises, and that causes her to leave after she's killed him.
Yeah.
And that almost causes Johnny Rico to leave. But then thankfully, the rock smashes into Buenos Aires, and the movie can continue again. Because at that point in the movie essentially stops. But that's one of my favorite movies of all time. And thank God for Johnny Rico and everybody else that made that movie a fun movie to watch, even if it does not follow the books by having the mechs. I'm sorry. The movie stands on its own for that reason. And they did do some good things with that film. It's just, it's not an honest translation of the book, but it's for the budget they had, they did really well. What's your number three?
Well, my number 3 is Legend with Tim Curry.
I like Tim
I
Curry.
love
I
that
like a lot of
movie,
Tim
and
Curry.
I don't like Tom Cruise, as you know. I don't really like him as an actor, but in this movie, he did good. He was very good at portraying the character that I
Hold on.
thought that he should be in the movie. But I thought it was very well done. I love Tim Curry. He is just kick ass as Darkness in Legend, and I love the costumes. I love the fantasy of it, and I love the romantic story behind it. I love the evil, horrible little trolls and stuff that's all in this whole thing. I love the fairies. I just loved everything about it. Was to me, this is the what a fantasy is supposed to be. You know, it has everything in it, everything you'd want in a fantasy, and the acting is phenomenal. The sets are just breathtaking. I just love it. I fell in love with the movie, and I've seen it a lot, quite a few times. But I could sit and watch it right now and still love it. I mean, just I love it every single time, and it's just as good today as it was the first time I watched it. So I just love that movie. I just think it's wonderful. So if any of you want me to, I'll post it in there. But I do want to make a video myself. I'll have to sit and just make it finally sooner or later make one. Maybe I'll do a live on my Patreon and add like the scenes, my favorite scenes and things like that, and just do a live on that. That will have the recording and I'll have it. Because I don't want to get a copyright strike because there's more details that I would put into it if I'm allowed to show little snippets of things that I just adore. Because there's this little things that other people, I just don't think other people see it, don't catch it. Like Bruce and I can sit and watch a movie together, and I'll pick out things that I don't even think he even noticed, because I'm like that. I don't know. I just pick out weird stuff, I guess, because I just weird. I guess that's one of the things about me is that you know, I can't help what interests me, just like anyone. But isn't that what separates all of us, from just being boring, just the same. I'm not the same. I mean, I don't know anyone else. Even my sisters are nothing like me. They don't really like a lot of things that I like. But I can't help what I like, you know. But I'm not embarrassed to talk about what I enjoy or why I like something. I can't explain it exactly. Like you know, some people can sit and explain why they like certain things, but I don't always know. I just know that I do like it. So sorry if I disappoint you in my choices, but you know, I was asked to put my favorite ones, and that's what I did. So
Sorry
that's the
about
way it
that.
is.
Have an exploding septic tank right now, and I'm trying to put it off to manana. Um,
Okay.
I know that sounds bad, but like I got to go to work at midnight, so we're in the fuck zone, the bone zone. For those of you
Mhm.
that don't know what I do, I go and I do driving a big truck, and if I traffic in the 10 hours before I start my work, then I got a problem. And if not, I can put it off till 6 a.m. tomorrow and get over there and take care of it. Anyway, so anyway, back to my top 10 list. And I didn't mean to have real life intrude there. What's your number three?
Let's see. Oh, I said Legend. So what's
Legend.
your yeah.
Legend is number three. That's a great movie. It's Tim Curry. It's got Tom Cruise in a very much pre-dentistry fix. Good movie. Really good movie. And then my number three is The Empire Strikes Back, the George Lucas, Irwin Kershner classic from 1980. The only one of the movies that I kind of stop everything and I'll watch it whenever it's on, or if I get a chance to see it.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm trying to post. Uh, I'm trying to bookmark a post, but it won't let me. That's the problem
Okay.
I'm having. I'm trying to post this live stream on X and save it. But every time I click on it, it won't let me bookmark it to where I can keep it on here. It won't let me post it to my timeline. So I can't
Okay.
keep it. You know, I have no way of showing it to anyone after it's live. So that sucks. So I pay them so I can do the streams on there. But if they're not going to let me even post it anymore and keep it, then why should I pay them? You know what I
Sure.
mean? It's ridiculous. So at number two,
Number two.
my number two is The Thing with Kurt Russell.
Great movie.
My number two favorite movie. Uh, and
Didn't expect it to be
I
that high
love
with
that
you.
movie. It's another sci-fi horror. It's two of them, Alien and this one. But I love that movie. Everything about it is scary, interesting. To me, to me it tells you it draws you in, and you're just petrified. Even though the special effects aren't the best, it doesn't matter. The acting and the story fix all of that problem that you have with any of the, you know, the special effects. It's just really, really good, and the acting is phenomenal. You know, every actor in it is kick ass. They're believable characters, and you're fighting the whole way to help them figure out what's going on so that they can live. Even though you already seen the movie, you know, 25 times, you still want them to be successful. And it's sad when so many of them die, and you know they're not going to live at the end anyways. They're going to freeze to death. So it's heartbreaking, but these two heroes at the end sacrifice themselves to save the rest of us, which I just, you know, who cannot root for heroes? And that's what see I get out of this movie. So I just love it.
Yeah.
What's your number two?
My number two, number three was Empire Strikes Back. Number two is Predator 1 from 1987.
Hmm.
And holy cow, if that movie does not still give me the creeps at certain points, the suspense just absolutely builds.
Hmm.
And if the initial assault on a village is just fun, and you get a chance to see Sven Thorson doing a double duty. He's a paper passer in the start of the film when they're giving Dutch the rundown of what's going on,
Yeah.
and then towards the end of the first act, at the assault on the little village, which is their primary goal that they know of, uh, you see Schwarzenegger chuck a knife into his sternum and say, "Stick around." That's Vin Thorson. That guy there, he was brought on set basically to help protect the rest of the cast and crew on Predator from Sonny Landau from being just a general asshole because he was a creepy SOB. And insurance people mandated they have on-site security with Sonny Landau around because he had been known to sexually assault people. Real creepy guy. Later in life, Sony lost a couple digits, limbs because of diabetes, and then he eventually died in 2017. Sad to say, but he's kind of an asshole on set whenever he was in his prime. He thought he was all that.
Mm-hmm.
He was the guy that played Billy. All right, my number one will follow your number one. What's your number one, Janet? I bet I can guess it. Does it take place in the Pacific Ocean during World War II?
Yes, my favorite movie. Ever since I saw it, it came out. I'm trying to remember what year it came out. Hold on. It came out
2005.
in 2005, and it's based on a real story that really happened. And what's sad to me is that our president even said that this action that was done during the war didn't help the war effort at all. But see, I don't see it that way. To me, this type of thing happening is what made us win. That's how I look at it. And it was an actual raid that went on to release over 500 prisoners of war from the Philippine Islands. And
there was also some families that were captured there too.
Mm-hmm. But it was hold on, let me click on this one thing. I want to read it, make sure we have it. It was a camp. I think it was in Canabatuan, is how you pronounce it. Was the area that they were holding. The Japanese were holding our civilians and our American soldiers, and it was a ragtag group that was just thrown together of farmers and ranchers and just normal guys that really weren't, specific, good at a certain thing that went into officers training or anything like that. They were just thrown together and trained to specifically, this was their very first action as Army Rangers. And they went in, and I get emotional thinking about it, because to me, it was a wonderful thing that they did by saving all those men that had fought their best for our country. And I just can't believe anyone wouldn't want to watch this movie, because to me, it's so moving. And the actors that portrayed the real people, I thought they did a moving job at showing what they went through to just be successful and help save all these men from most of them were missing limbs, they had diseases, they were starved half to death. And the fact that we were able to get them out and bring them home was, to me, a valiant thing to do. And that's why I tell everyone to watch it, because they actually interview lots of POWs at the end. And I just can't help it. To me, it's very patriotic to watch it. I watch it every year. And I wish everyone did, because I wish more people loved this country. And every time I turn on the news and I see all these people doxing our ICE agents and our police officers and our paramedics and our soldiers and everyone that's doing everything they can to protect us in our own country, and they have our own people wanting them dead, is sad to me, because we don't have enough people anymore that love this country, that want to get up every morning and say the Pledge of Allegiance and believe in the Constitution. So every time I watch this, it just makes me more determined to fight, to try to fight back and get our freedoms back, and let other kids grow up and want to do this for their country. So that I can't help it. It's a very emotional movie for me, and I just love it. And I wish everyone, not that it's a sad movie. It really is, to see um, what they look like when they got out, but the fact that they did it for our men. It got them out. 500. Just think about it. They had guerrillas, and they had Filipino guerrillas, they had Alamo scouts, and then they had our little Army Ranger group that they put together. And a few of them did die. They didn't make it. I don't know. I just wish everyone had loved our country enough to have respect for our veterans. I just wish our veterans were treated better. And when we send billions of dollars every year to other countries that hate us, that want to kill all of us and cut up our heads and rape our women and treat us like dirt, and then we throw our veterans to the side, is, to me, is heartbreaking. So that's the reason I love this movie.
It's a good film. I watched it. Me and my dad went and go see it whenever it was in the theaters on the south side of Springfield, Illinois. And then as we drove home down Route 54 to our abode, we got chased by a tornado. That was an exciting night. We got to see a really good movie, and then we almost died. And then whenever we came out of our basement about a half hour later, there was over 170 different telephone poles had been snapped all around Latham, Mount Pulaski, and the western side of Logan County into eastern Macon County. It was just a war zone, and my dad and I just watched the Great Raid. And because I was at the time unemployed, because Illinois will do Illinois things like shut your business down because, like, taxes. Your boss is like, can't afford to be here, gotta move. And well, I have to look for another job. Next month, all I did was basically spend time getting telephone poles ready to be put in the ground and help site manage with radio towers, because 2 of them collapsed thanks to the high winds. My number 1 movie of all time. You guys know what it is. It's Big Trouble in Little China. There's only one fucking answer for that. It's Big Trouble in Little China. John Carpenter made the greatest movie of his entire career. And for me, that's Big Trouble in Little China. There's no other film that compares to it. It has the music. It has the theme. It has the greatest actor of all time, Kurt Russell, back in his prime. You've got a surrounding cast of people, even Kim Cattrall, who later became like kind of Tara Reid-ish with her face in The Surgeons.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite as bad, but she started down that dark path. And thank God she didn't continue it for that long. But man, this my favorite film of all time will always be Big Trouble in Little China. It'll be very hard for that to be displaced. There's nothing else that for me compares to the grandeur and majesty of watching David Lopan get ousted from this mortal plane thanks to a lucky catch and a great throw.
Yeah, that is a fun movie. I really like it. Sorry, it didn't get in my top 10, but you have to push something else out to put something in. So, and I'm really stubborn when it comes to that. I don't see myself ever really changing the movies that I have on my list, because they all have meaning to me. When I see a movie that moves me in a certain way, I can't help it. I get emotional. I mean, Bruce has got me to watch a couple movies, and certain scenes in it might move me, make me cry or something. I can't help it. I do have feelings, I am a human, but and I do get angry in some of them. It depends on, what's going on. But all these movies, through my life, as I've watched them, they move me in some way. And it was just funny that I saw all these other movies, and you saw where I put them on my list. But when I saw this movie in 2005, And I just bawled my eyes out, but I was so happy at the end, to see that they were successful. And it was something I never heard of. I never heard anyone talk about it. I never heard anyone make a big deal of it. And I've gone to a lot of veteran memorials and all this different stuff. And they talk about like the frozen reservoir. I've gone to lots of these different things because I try to support the veterans, and anything that has to do with veterans, I would be there, to support them. But when I found out that they actually made a special troop of people to go in and rescue our PWs from, like this. Look at this on my microphone right here. You see what it says? POWs never have a nice day. That's an old pin. You see it?
Yeah, I do.
But we just don't hear enough people that want to help veterans anymore. Because it doesn't matter whether they're a Christian or they're a Buddha or whatever they are, or if they're black or white, or if they're male or female, or if they're a Democrat or a liberal, or whatever, whatever they are. That has nothing to do with it. It's the fact that they gave of themselves for all of us to have the freedoms to watch TV, to get a job, graduate from high school, get married, fall in love with whoever you want. They are the reason why we're free. And yet nobody talks about them. Nobody supports them. Nobody, I don't know. Nobody seems to focus on them, and that's what's sad to me. Because what happened to the people that love the Constitution enough to realize that we have a Constitution because we have veterans, that type of thing. Look at our country compared to every other country. We're the only country in the world that sends money to every country. And how many countries send us money to pay us for our veterans or our homeless?
Janet, I'm going to send you to the Leering Center if you don't straighten up right away. You need to stop.
Sorry. Just can't help it. I'm very passionate about it, and I'm not ashamed to look. I even have this on my desk. I mean, I love our country, and I'm proud to be an American.
Well, that's to be expected, and it's going to be fine. We're going to be okay. Tomorrow's going to come. We're going to have a shitty day. Somebody's going to have a worse day than me. And no matter what, I'm going to go and pull some money out of somebody's wallet, and they're going to be upset, but whatever. And I just want to say that, we saw Shadow and Sun in chat. We completely gave an extra 40 minutes for absolutely free to you guys out there. And hopefully you enjoy our discussion and our banter back and forth. We will have to do a top 10 movie at some point, Janet. If you want to schedule that.
Now, is it going to be different than this? Because if we do a top 10 out of our favorite movies, that's different than the top 10 movies of ones we've already reviewed. See?
I'm talking about top 10 movies of movies we've seen over the course of time. Like what Shadow did. Mm-hmm. He has an entire video where he just talks about his favorite films. So does Connell, so does a lot of other people in our little sphere. And we should probably do that. But at the same time, I thought like this movie that we watched, really great film. One of the best. Sergio Leone, probably one of the few directors that English is not his first language, but he was able to get Clint Eastwood to emote and to properly perform. And for decades, people have been entertained by his trilogy of amazing films. And then he went and he made other great movies as well. And the talent that he surrounded himself with through time up until his death is just a fucking amazing. I think this guy is one of the best directors of all time. And the fact that he was able to take a little known TV star and turn him into a movie star, that's saying something. And that's what Clint Eastwood was. He was the main guy for Rawhide, which a lot of people tuned into that every week. But if you had a second shift job back in the 50s, you had no idea what the fuck Rawhide was because you had bills to pay. and you didn't have the ability to sit at home and watch Walter Cronkite lead into Rawhide. You were there flipping burgers or pushing furniture or whatever else you may have been doing. You're probably dead now.
Well, one other
Clint
thing I
Eastwood,
wanted to
96 years
add
old this
about the
year.
movie that we
But
just did, that I thought was just outstanding, and why I think he's such a good director. People don't realize the director's in charge of every aspect of a movie. So when you hire someone to do makeup, or you hire someone to do costumes or sets, or the electrical stuff, for the lighting, all that, if something goes on a set, the director should notice it. You know what I mean? So it's all falls on the director. So when there's bad shit, whether it's editing or whatever, and you said, God, that movie sucked, the soundtrack was terrible, well, that should fall on the director too, because the director is supposed to oversee every aspect of the film. So
yeah, he's the one that's responsible holding this bag and getting it to the producers and the studio houses. He's the one that's responsible. If it sucks, if there's some part of it that falls short, it's not you, the extra, or you, the gaffer, or you, the watcher of the film, that gets their ass chewed for a movie falling miserably short on expectations.
because he's supposed
Nope,
to make sure
it's the
done.
director.
But one thing that people don't realize either is, like, when I went on and on about what a wonderful director he was from the first time I saw the first movie, Fistful of Dollars, because remember I said the scene where all the soldiers are laying on the ground dead, and you got two horses laying there, and they're real, okay? But they laid there for all the time that you see the people walking around and stuff, at least 10 minutes of the movie is around this one whole scene, people walking and stuff, but you still see the horses laying there. But you see, when they walk near it, you can tell that it's still alive. Just like you saw the guys who were piled up in the back of the wagon. You saw the one guy's foot move a little bit, before the wagon moved. And then you saw, when you panned through the back, you could see the one guy opening and closing his eyes. Just little things like that. But it didn't take away from the movie. But it was the fact that it's real people. They're not dummies in there. Those are real people laying on top of each other in the back of the wagon. And you could see that because it was in the 60s, early 60s, before they had the capability of having a CGI, and the fact that they didn't have a huge budget. So they're not going to be able to afford all these rubber people and things like that look just like the actor they just threw in there. So just little things like that tell me that the director was paying attention to the small things to make it more realistic. The two horses, or four horses in this one scene, when one of the shootouts was going on, and you only see one horse that gets spooked. Okay, and it moves. It tries to run, but you could tell it's tied down so it can't get away. But the other horses, they react a little bit. But the fact that he was able to get an animal control person, with all the stuff that they were doing, to me is phenomenal, that they're that well trained. Okay, especially for cheap movies. A lot of these small movies, they don't have a budget to get an animal trainer that is very good. You might have one or two dogs, that can bark on cue, or lay down and do things, but not multiple animals. I mean, this one had chickens and dogs and cats and different things like that. And they have to have someone that wrangles the animals and takes care of them. And they had all these horses with so many gunfights, and they didn't trample anyone, or you didn't see them acting, really crazy with all the gunfire going off. Because if you've ever been on a horse, when someone shoots a gun, or you hear a loud bang from a car, different things like that, you're going to get bucked off or trample or whatever, because usually they don't do that. But to have that many horses in the whole movie, and have that much gunfire and stuff going off around them, and I knew they were shooting guns, because you could see him do the haunches, back leg go like that when they shot. So they did hear the weapon. It wasn't put in after the movie was done, things like that. So I just wanted to give an applaud for that, because
that's the kind of detail that I look for when I'm watching a movie about the director's choices and who he chooses for the different jobs. And when you do well at picking the person who's going to get your actors, who's going to do the makeup, who's going to do the stats, who's going to do the sound, who's going to do the lights, who's going to do, you know, all the different stuff to make the overall movie good. And when nothing stands out, that's a good thing. So, because everything flows, that's great. That means everybody did their jobs and everybody worked hard to make it all click so that the whole movie just flows. And that's what I got from this movie. I could definitely see a step up from the one we watched 2 weeks ago, and it's the same director and a lot of the same actors in it. So they all did better. So if we're going to watch the third one, I'm looking forward to it because I guarantee it's probably got to be a little step up better
It's going to
from
be a
this
step
one.
up.
So we will see, because I could definitely see the improvement from the director's learning from his past mistakes from the last movie. That's all I wanted to add. I'm sorry.
You're good. You're
And I'm
fine.
sorry I got emotional, everybody. I don't mean to do that. I just can't help it. I just love that movie. It's a good movie. And it's not just the movie, it's what the movie's about. And the fact that people cared enough to write a script, interview all those veterans, and try to get the story as real as possible with actors that were willing to make this movie. To me, is a good thing, because I wish we had more people that cared enough about different things that are going on in our world to actually take time to make a movie about it and let other people know what's really going on and what happened in the story. So, sorry, that's just the way I am. I don't know what happened to Bruce. He disappeared. Oh, he's on the phone. He's on the phone with his customer, he said. Well, but I hope you guys enjoyed the little bit of the what you got to see, whether it was on X or YouTube or Rumble, because I don't know where Bruce is streaming. But I just want to say thank you to all of you that take time out of your day just to hang out with us for a little bit and talk about what we love, which is movies. And I'm thankful to Bruce for letting me do this with him. And I've gotten to see so many movies I never would have watched at all in my life, I don't think, if it hadn't been for Bruce asking me to join him and do this show with him.
I appreciate it, Janet. You're a lot of fun to hang out with. You're a really good person, and just all around like buddy, best buddy.
Well, thank you.
So there is the business of next week. We are watching The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Okay.
And then 2 weeks from now, you wanted to
Wagon.
watch Paint Your Wagon. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go, kids. That's everything for tonight. We appreciate you dropping by. Janet, what was your final score? You said it was a 90 what?
9.5 out of 10.
Basically 95 out of 100
Yeah.
there. That's really high praise. I gave this movie a 90 out of 100. I thought it was really good. I love Lee Van Cleef in this movie. I think probably the weakest in this film is it's not Eastwood's story to tell. It's Lee Van Cleef's, and therefore the movie it was good. It's good. I'll just leave it there, and you already know.
Well, you're right. I think that Lee Van Cleef was the best actor in this movie, and then the supporting actor of the what was his name again? Can't remember.
Gian Maria Volonte.
Yeah, Volonte. Okay, he was second because he was so evil and so good at it that it made the other two guys that were trying to get rid of him go up.
Yeah, it makes them look like saints.
They made. But the thing is, you wanted to root for them. And Clint Eastwood was excellent too in this movie, but he was just a little bit outdone, I think, through the acting part with the other two actors, because all three of them were actors. They weren't supporting actors. They were supporting each other, but they were all three leads. And to have a movie with three male leads, it was just, I'm just saying, there was so many things that could have made this movie go south, but he upped all of it. This director did a good job at balancing everything and making it fun, exciting, and intriguing.
I gotta agree with you. This movie is freaking nuts.
Mhm.
All right.
Bye.
Until then, the balcony's closed. Me and Janet will be retreating to our respective corners, and then afterwards, we'll come back out and square off and discuss what we love and what we don't like about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Until then, we have a big giant playlist of stuff to watch. Also, there's some excellent things that we showcased earlier, and there is Shadow and Sons top 10 list right here, and that is at a 50, that's at the 47 mark after the hour. And then at the 48-minute mark after the 5 o'clock hour, where I live, you have the fat electrician talking about Pappy Gunn and how he just pissed off everybody in the Nipponese. So you guys have yourselves a great and happy day. There's plenty of things to go do. Go touch grass. Go grab yourself your best friend and motorboat him. And you have a great and wonderful week. We will talk to you next weekend.